Hi, welcome. This is 17's LALALI. 17 is releasing music videos for all of the subunits from their most recent Maestro 17 is Right Here album, which I did a listening party for it. It's on my Patreon, but it's incredible. It's incredible. All the different subunit tracks. They are all on equal par. I'm usually actually more lenient towards the hip hop team, actually. I'm a little bit more biased towards their music, but this album was a bit mind blowing because all of the subunit songs could be title tracks on their own. And the fact that they're all getting their own music videos feels rightfully so because of the quality of said songs. So super excited for this. The fact that we're kicking off with LALALI, I mean, it's perfect. It's also how it's laid out in the album track list. So let's begin. What? What the Bounce on me, bounce on me, yeah. 느낌은 놀며 보는 날라리 이봐 전 세계 팬다 LOV Boom, 83인분 pay 충분히 배부르면 다 backbeat SBT can't stop it 지금 본 채워라 내 발자취 말론처럼 free throw My team with the free smoke 전 세계 또 김포 바다 위 칼립소 달이 닿는 대로 바로 나는 불티 뜨거 한나도 뽑기 할 수 있으면 우리처럼 해보든지 Wow, even the music videos have the budget of like a title track. Here we go. My favorite part's coming up. Oh, damn! Oh my God! Oh my God. He looks as savage as that line actually was. Holy crap. Wow, what the hell? Whoa. Oh, damn. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was perfect. That was so perfect, guys. That was incredible, especially with the concept of LALALI as it's written in English. But in Korean, you pronounce it more as LALALI with an N sound. But that music video is perfect. It's the right amount of just hip, kitschy, weird, strange, but also perfectly fitting the concept of the song. the song is inherently very Korean, and you're going to notice in the music video, it's also inherently very Korean. Well, that is, you know, if you visited Korea or if you watch a lot of Korean entertainment, you might notice. First of all, the term LALALI, we have to start there. It's an old school term. First of all, like people don't really use that term anymore. You know, we covered this a little bit in my listening party, but it's an old school word, especially from like the 90s. I grew up hearing it a lot, not like about me. I've just grew up hearing that word a lot. It's a little bit of a derogatory word. It's not straight up a slur. It's not necessarily a bad word, but it's the type of thing where a lot of older people would call, or even just like clean or straight edge people would call someone a nalari, and it necessarily did not mean a good thing, but at the same time, nalaris wore that like a badge of honor. So what is that? So a nalari is like there is no direct kind of English translation, but if we were to throw in some words, it would be like a punk. It would be sort of like a hooligan, bit of a thug. So like if there are gangsters and actual thugs, gangsters are affiliated with gangs. Thugs are kind of just like, you're not really affiliated with anybody else and you kind of go around fucking shit up. And that is a good space to understand the term of nalari right there. But you don't necessarily have to be violent necessarily to be a nalari. The concept of a nalari is kind of like a young person, could be a teenager, someone in their early 20s, or, you know, I guess even in their late 30s, whatever. But like, it's the concept of someone who doesn't really give a damn, is very loose, kind of a rule breaker, stands up to people, and it, you know, I think the word punk then suits that as well. But one of the things about nalaris, and why it was also very big in the 90s, is also the extravagant, wild, honestly flamboyant, flashy attire that they used to wear. That is one of the biggest things that defined the nalari, just right off the bat, is how they looked visually. So we'll actually jump back to here in a bit. But if you look at their clothing and their outfits, like let's start with Mingyu on this boat. This is the like perfect prime example of how a nalari would dress in the 90s. If you think about it now, this is just like fashion now, especially hip hop fashion nowadays. But it wasn't necessarily tied to hip hop or fashion back in the day. Well, I would say it was tied to fashion, but not in the way that it is now. It was about kind of being a rule breaker. It was kind of about standing out. It was a little bit defiant in that way, with the Wonwoo's hair right here, and a lot of Wonwoo's hair in this music video, by the way, is divine. But his hair right here is also even just a good example of a nalari hairstyle. Just wild, kind of looks like an anime character in that way, but wild, unconventional, not clean cuts, gelled up in such a strange way. These are all like very go-to nalari looks. So that alone, like the fashion and the attire, like this is another great one where they're all wearing like the mink coats right here. If I can, yeah, like right here. This is such a nalari style of fashion. This nowadays, again, by not like current modern standards, this is just fashion now. But within the context of this song and of this music video, it's actually very, very, very on brand. Even here, where they're all dressed in tracksuits. This is also like a very classic 90s thug nalari attire as well. Like when they're more dressed down in that way, this is kind of how they would dress. They gave off very strong but wild, flamboyant vibes. And so the fashion is a huge part of the actual music video and the song's cultural aspect, which is really, really cool. And then the music video, if you look at even just the setting, like this dude. So this dude, obviously this takes place at the after this entire video that we've been seeing where they just kind of like mess shit up. But this is like an old school 90s hotel motel room in Korea. The green door is kind of like a big sign, but also if you look at the tube TV and the old style Korean water cooler, and then the floral print, this kind of style, and like even honestly the bedding on the floor, this kind of style is a very 90s-esque style. Even the in-room like air conditioner heater in the top left, nowadays they use standing air conditioners rather than wall mounted units. So the entire music video is also going for a retro vibe. If you look at Vernon, I mean, he's dressed like a Korean ajumma, which is kind of like a I don't want to say he's dressed like a grandma, like an ajumma dresses like this too, but definitely I've seen a lot of grandmas dressed like this. And this, the housing here and the decor here, if you're Korean, you might be like, this shit looks familiar. It's like, yeah, I think a lot of people's grandma's houses looked a lot like this. But also it's the subtle opulence and the subtle riz. If you look at the console where the TV is mounted and the vase and the closet cabinet, the wardrobe, that is also all old traditional Korean stuff. I believe that's like some kind, I forget the exact word, but it's a pearl, and it's an older style of Korean aesthetic, but it also is like very expensive. I remember growing up, my grandma had one of these, and like a half-sized one of what's behind Vernon. But this was a sign of like quality, money, and wealth. And so even like as he's dressed like as a grandma, there's a subtle flex in an old school way. Well, interesting. The food he's eating though is all like super childish, like chicken fingers, corn, Dippin' Dots. I don't know if that's like mochi or something like that. And then gummy worms. Oh, so interesting. Okay, let's just talk about this while we're watching it. Even the chicken finger looking like a person to transition from them going through the wall is interesting. Wow, she heated up the mic in the microwave. That's freaking hilarious. This is also, and then this is a very country setting. It's a very shigor type of vibe. This entire area. Shigor is the Korean word for just countryside. This is a very countryside setting. The old men playing go paduk, especially if you guys watch like The Glory, you guys might recognize it. But the old men playing out in the open. It's like akin to the American culture of like older people just playing chess in the park. It's a stereotype in Korea as well, of older people just playing go out in the open. But it's not just because the buildings are like sort of run down. It's the aesthetic of the basically it says bounce in Korean, but it's like all like a karaoke, like a old school Korean karaoke vibe. And this entire building unit and everything about it has like this kind of country look to it. And even the way Mingyu is dressed, it's a little like a country LALALI. And it's dressed very retro with like even the brown leather jacket too. That's the tracksuit. The LALALI, the taxi route is really interesting. God, I love that line. Wow. The color scheme of like the green exit sign to everyone dressed in green and black, that the subtlety of that is so sick. Oh my god, he's got a ponytail. I will say he's straight up like dressed like a thug. He's like, this is like straight up like a gangster, I will say. The way Wonu is dressed. This is like a very old school. This is like how gangs in Korea in the 90s used to dress. Even the construction site setting. The very, especially if you watch a lot of K-dramas, you might notice that construction is associated with crime a lot and gangs a lot. It's a very big thing. I love just like the subtle flex of like him saying he's so hot that he could wear like a thick fur mink coat in a sauna and he's not even breaking a sweat. That's beautiful. And then the rest of the set takes place in a Korean sauna, which in Korean culture, especially within the countryside culture and within like the thug gangster culture, is actually very, very big. Saunas in general are very big within Korean culture, but especially within old school gangs, old school thugs, it's like where they would go to kind of, you know, just talk and break bread. He's like, and then he's like the this outer area where he's like on top of the counter. That's the jjimjirbang. That's where after the sauna you like get into like these clothes and then you can just rest. And then the rest of this is within a sauna, which is really funny. God, this. Even the bongtigin is an old school Korean snack, especially way back in the day. Like the explosion of like, we'll just call it popcorn. It's not really popcorn, but we'll just call it popcorn. Oh, just realizing this is a nengbang. It's an ice room within a sauna, so it's like continuing on the sauna theme. We do whatever we want to do. It's that kind of like loose hooligan sort of a vibe. And you see them like basically riding alongside with the police car. They're in the back of the police car, squad car. You know, LALALI's got into trouble a lot back in the day. So that's also that thematic aspect as well. Even that thing, what Mingyu was doing, scratching his feet, that's also just like that posture, the way he's sitting, it's a little quote unquote improper. You know, being proper is a very huge part of Korean culture. And so even showing that shot of like him like sitting like that, it shows a little bit of the swag, but it's also part of that kind of like LALALI laid back culture. That's incredible. That's incredible. Out the gate. Amazing subunit music video. I mean, all the other subunit songs are incredible, but I gotta say, especially because like I grew up around like this is the era and just like I grew up, and so it's just very like nostalgic to see. So I do have like a personal bias in terms of like I love it. It's awesome. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts though. Anyone who loved the song, like what were you expecting with in terms of the music video? You know, even knowing the context of the song, I did not think they would actually go with this kind of concept. It's really, really cool. It's showcasing Korean culture, also a bit of a throwback. It's retro, but it's also super hip and super like it's the perfect blend between like modern and retro. And it's like they're like the modern day LALALIs, which is an interesting vibe to go for, but I love it. I wish and I hope that in the future 17 actually does this more where all their subunits get music videos. Like I think most all of the subunit songs are incredible, and they all actually deserve music videos up until this point. Not many have had music videos. Some of them have. I still remember 17's old highlight music video. And you know, I just think that man, I wish Game Boy had a music video. That'd be amazing. But you know, with 17's new level of success, with that Taesang under their belt, again, LALALI just feels like just the perfect flex, the perfect show off type of song and music video. So loved it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. I will see you in 17's next subunit music video. Bye.